What's going on, Bottom Line viewers? It's Mitch here of the Bottom Line View, here to review SmackDown Live for August 8th, 2017. Give you a review, give you my reactions, into a little bit of a discussion of SmackDown Live tonight and SummerSlam 2017. Of course, the biggest party of the summer for WWE, the second biggest show of the year. And this is the product that we're getting a couple weeks before SummerSlam. Pretty sad stuff, guys. Pretty sad stuff. And actually, it feels very repetitive. Every single SmackDown I come on here, I tell you how the show sucks. I tell you how I think they should improve the show. I tell you what I liked, what I didn't like, and it's mostly what I didn't like. And it's just getting really repetitive. I didn't feel like a lot of this show was worthwhile. There was maybe a couple of things on the show that were worth watching. Besides that, there was nothing on the show that really made you have to watch it. Like, if you skip this entire episode, you most likely missed nothing crucial to really look at or to really think about. You know, they left you with no real cliffhangers for the next show that we didn't already know about. They didn't leave us with any thoughts in our head to think about certain storylines and stuff like that. There's not really a lot to discuss on this show because not a lot happened, and there's not a lot of actual things that are going to impact SummerSlam, because we already know these things were going to happen. We already kind of figured that Baron Corbin was going to face John Cena at SummerSlam. We already kind of figured that Rusev was going to face Randy Orton. We already knew that Shinsuke was going to face Jinder. There was very little impact on this show. Nothing that you will not forget in a week. Now, was the show in bits entertaining? Maybe for some people. There are a couple of little segments here and there that I thought were entertaining, but the show was not good. The show was not good. Savage, I don't know what you're talking about, me being late. I usually always start around 15 to 30 minutes after the show. Katana says, trash show. Fashion Files is the only thing you need to watch on SmackDown. Honestly, though, is the Fashion Files must-see TV? No, it's not. It's entertaining most of the time for WWE product standards, but is it must-see TV? No, because they don't really... It doesn't impact every show. It doesn't go from one show to the next show a lot of the times. It seems like with the Fashion Files now, they figured out something that actually works on their show, so they continue to use it. And I don't mind that, and I like the Fashion Files. But with the Fashion Files, the cool idea with it was a different creative way to kind of piece together storylines and piece together feuds for the Fashion Police. And I'll get into that, but they haven't been able to do that over the past few weeks, which I feel like they're missing that part of it. So let's get into the show. First off, I do want to give a shout out to my buddy Brett. It's his birthday today here on August 8th. So happy birthday, Brett. Let's get into the show. Start off with a Cena and Nakamura recap. And it was kind of cool, I guess. I mean, basically what it did, it showed the dream match that was Nakamura-Cena last week, and showed all the highlights, and showed Cena almost breaking his neck again, and showed Nakamura going over, and kind of gave you this lasting impact of, okay, it's Nakamura's time to shine. Cena put him over in the middle of the ring, blah, 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 blah. Also, it showed us video that I previously did not see from after the show, which I thought that's absolutely ridiculous. Why would you put something so crucial not on your show? Why would you have Baron Corbin and Cena going at it after the match, which we previously have not been tuned into? The reason why I knew Baron Corbin was going to face Cena, just because I was a logical fan in my head. I was like, what other top wrestler on SmackDown could Cena possibly face? Unless they somehow swerve us and he faces Orton, it's got to be Corbin, right? So I basically pieced that together, and I knew that coming into the show. But for some reason, last show, they had off-air stuff before this show. That makes no sense, and that could have been on their show last week. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, and they're going to do that again this week. they're going to do that again this week because Rusev attacked Orton at the end of the show. And instead of letting us see it, I understand the cliffhanger that they wanted to give you, but we already knew Rusev was going to face Orton, so it's not really a cliffhanger. You know what I mean? It's frustrating to watch this stuff. Like, I don't understand why Baron Corbin and Cena was left off the show. If anybody can tell me the reason why Baron Corbin and Cena was left off the show, please let me know. Okay. Let's get into the opening segment, which was the John Cena promo. And Cena comes in the ring, and of course, he does the whole neck thing to make sure that you know that his neck's okay. I do want to say this. I am not a John Cena fan per se, but I will say this. The guy is a tough son of a bitch. I mean, he's rarely in his life probably faced a strong style wrestler such as Shinsuke Nakamura. It's a totally different wrestler. It's a totally different style of wrestling. And for him to go in there and sacrifice his body when he already has a movie career and he already has all these avenues to go, and to put his body on the line to get somebody over, I think you have to respect that. No matter if you hate Cena or you love Cena, you have to respect the toughness of the guy to go in there and sacrifice his body, because Nakamura, every time he gets in the ring or every time these Japanese wrestlers get in the ring, they wrestle with a style that is higher risk of injury because of what they do in the ring. So you have to respect Cena for that. Cena basically says that Super Cena squared off with the King of Strong Style, Shinsuke Nakamura, last week. And he said that, Shinsuke is afraid of nothing. He kind of gets Shinsuke over a little bit. He tries to talk about him. Nakamura, chants start going throughout the arena. Nakamura hits hard, he says. He says that, he kind of thought he was going to just do his thing. He was going to go in there. He was going to win the match. He was going to do his You Can't See Me, and he was going to go to SummerSlam, beat Jinder, and become a 17-time champion, but that's not exactly what happened. There were Jinder chants that started happening, which was interesting, and that kind of played throughout the course of the night. Of course, Jinder is from Canada. He's actually from Vancouver, where I'm from. So it was interesting to see those Jinder chants. He was really over at the live show in Vancouver. If you didn't see that review, it's on the channel. But he's also over elsewhere in Canada, in Toronto. So that's pretty cool to see. And I like Jinder, so it's nice to see that. Cena then says that there was no foul play. He just lost, and he shook the man. He shook the hand of a man who earned it and who he thinks is going to win the world championship. Baron Corbin then interrupts, and basically, this was the first time I've ever heard his new theme. I think he had his new theme last week, but again, I wasn't on the review. That was Kevil Single, and I was away, and I didn't really watch the show. I think I watched bits and pieces of it, but I didn't see Baron Corbin's entrance. Is this a new entrance this week, or did it happen last week? I liked the start of the theme. I really, really liked the start of the theme. But as the theme continued to wear on, again, it just didn't seem intense or like memorable enough. It seemed too generic as the theme went on. Like it was okay. It was better than Cass's. It was better than Jason Jordan's. But we'll see another theme that will in a little bit that's new that I think is a lot better. But I thought that Baron Corbin, the beginning of his theme is really, really cool, where it does like this evil kind of entrance and then he comes out. I really like that part of it. Baron actually had cut a pretty good promo here. He says, I am the future and I have no problem with making you the past. Cena actually cracked me up a little bit when he called Baron Corbin a skinny, fat, overrated dumpster fire. He says, just like that sign right over there, and points to it. He then says, I have no problem with putting your ass through another table. Corbin says, with this contract, I can do whatever I want, when I want, like I said earlier. And people are chanting dumpster fire, dumpster fire, dumpster fire. Then Baron Corbin says, take your respect and you can shove it, because I don't need to face John Cena. All I need is to win the WWE Championship. You aren't worth my time. I thought this was a solid Corbin promo overall. I haven't been overly impressed with Corbin's promos to date. Like, I think that's been the weakest part of his arsenal. I like his sort of lone wolf character. I like the guy's unique look, but the wrestling every once in a while, not my favorite. And the promos every once in a while seem too scripted and too kind of robotic. But in this promo, I thought it was well done from my vantage point, at least. I don't know what you guys thought about that. Corbin then says, take your respect and shove it. And then after he says that, Daniel Bryan comes out, gets a huge pop. Like, Daniel Bryan was one of the most popular wrestlers on the show again, and that's another issue. As we'll see, Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon were arguably the two most over wrestlers on the entire show, and they don't wrestle. So that is an issue. Daniel Bryan got some yes chants. He says he doesn't have a crystal ball, but at SummerSlam, it will be Baron Corbin versus John Cena. Okay, I'm not in love with that match, but if it does good for Baron Corbin, then I'm for it, because I think it's time for Baron Corbin to have that feud that puts him over the top so that he feels like an actual future world champion, because to this point, he doesn't feel like that. He feels like a young superstar that's still working on his craft, but he doesn't feel like a future world champion. And by feuding with Cena, that might push him over the edge for me. We'll see what happens. Now let's get to the comments section here. Christopher says, so do you see Shane going down the middle, or is something planned? I don't know really what's going to happen. If it was me, I mean, they could turn Shane heel and side with Kevin Owens. That would be interesting. I'm just throwing stuff out in my mind. They could have him screw over Kevin Owens and then have an Owens-Shane feud. They could very well do that. What else could they do? So they could go two ways. I don't see them going back to the AJ Styles feud, so I think it's very doubtful that he screws AJ Styles over. So that would be my guess, unless they scrap the match altogether, which it doesn't look like. The original plan, I thought, was Kevin Owens versus Shane. So maybe what they do is they have Shane screw over Kevin Owens, and then this feud kind of continues on till maybe Survivor Series or something, or a bigger pay-per-view, or maybe even the next couple pay-per-views, and they try and have a match, Shane versus Kevin Owens, and they have a feud between those two guys. Maybe they do that. That's my best guess for it. WWE Boy says, I missed like the first hour of the show, so I don't know what happened. Yeah, that's a lot to miss. But, you know, you didn't miss much. Harry Hook says, Mitch, one half of the WWE's best reviews. Thanks, Harry Hook Chase. Harry Hook Chase says, happy birthday, Brett. So does Christopher. Then Katana says, the ending was bullshit. I agree with you, Katana. WWE Boy says, I've realized for the past few months you can predict a lot of this stuff just by hearing the fucking dialogue. Yeah, that's true. It's been like that for years, actually. Katana says, I'm predicting that the main event of SmackDown next week will be Orton and Nakamura versus Rusev and Jinder. Yeah, that would make sense. Katana says, I like Corbin's new theme. It's better than his last one. I would agree with that, but I don't know. Just like the end of the theme or like the middle of the theme, I'm not in love with it. I really like the beginning of it. Harry Hook says, dumpster fire. Katana says, I'd like to get invested in Corbin, but it's difficult. I agree with you. And WWE Boy says, Baron Corbin needs to be getting a push and be given a chance to get that superstardom spotlight. Yeah, I agree with all those points. Yeah, I think that this could be what Corbin needs to get over to the next level. Then they have the Usos versus Sami Zayn and Ty Dillinger. Don't know why this match happened. As I tweeted tonight, I didn't want to repeat it 4 times, but what I said in my tweet was, why is this match happening? And then in brackets, I said I could repeat this and retweet it 4 times. But I didn't. I just tweeted it once. But this actually probably happened 3 to 4 times throughout the night, where I was sitting there and I was like, why is this match happening? We have no feud between Sami Zayn, Ty Dillinger, and the Usos. There's no reason to have this match. Why are the Usos mad at Sami Zayn and Ty Dillinger? Why is Sami Zayn and Ty Dillinger mad at the Usos? Why are they feuding? Why are they wrestling? Again, the feud equals the match, not a match equals a feud. I do want to say this. The Usos have a dope-ass new theme song. I love it. I'm pretty sure that's them rapping in the theme song, which they did a really good job. I like it even more than the original, which I already liked the original. So I thought the lyrics added something to the song. The Usos do win the match, and after the match, which lasted, in my opinion, way too long, and the only reason for this match was to have Sami Zayn and Ty Dillinger on the show because they're both Canadian. That was the only purpose to this match, I guarantee you. After that point, they have the New Day come out, and basically it's just Big E. And as the Usos, like before that, the Usos say, "Where the New Day at? Where the New Day at?" You know, they're looking for the New Day. They say, "You're looking at the new WWE World Tag Team Champions," and they do the whole New Day thing. So the New Day's music hits. Big E does the intro. Big E is standing at the entrance. You don't see Kofi and Xavier. You're kind of wondering where they are. They ambush them from behind. They beat down the Usos, and that's basically the segment. So we didn't get much of a vocal like jousting. We just got a beat down from the New Day. Very, very simple. Nothing really moved forward on this segment. Very cookie cutter. Nothing to make you really care about the feud going forward. Nothing to progress the storyline. So that sucks. But at least they tried to do something. Wasn't very successful with me. May have been successful with someone else. Very cookie cutter. Then they have a Randy Orton interview, and Orton basically says that Jinder won't get away. And that's basically what he tries to imply, because the twins won't be there, and Orton's going to finish his business tonight against Jinder Mahal. He also then says that Rusev, somebody needed to stand up to that tough guy Rusev last week, and that's exactly what he did. My question here is, why is he facing Jinder Mahal for like the 100th time when Jinder has no reason to face this man? Jinder has beat this guy numerous times. It doesn't make any sense for the WWE champion to go out of his way to face Randy Orton. I need a better reason for why Randy Orton is facing Jinder Mahal other than it's redemption time for Randy Orton, because it makes no sense when Jinder has already beat him numerous times. It's killing me. Christopher says, how is the Usos' new theme? I answered that question. I really like it. Katana says, I enjoyed seeing the Usos beat up the Jobber duo. Well, you make one of us, I guess. WWE Boy says the New Day's sneaking up behind the Usos is a heel move. I'm really getting tired of these guys that are not funny or entertaining like how they were a year ago. I thought the Usos should have split up at last year's WrestleMania. I think it's been far overdue for Big E to go on his own. I think if you still wanted to do the New Day, just do Kofi and Xavier. And maybe bring in a new Big E. They could do a whole storyline on that. Because I think they're wasting Big E. Because I think Big E is ready to hit that next level. And they haven't pushed him yet. Landon says, declare yourself dictator of Canada. Well, I'm not the dictator of Canada. I am just a proud citizen. Next, Fashion Peaks, which is Fashion Files. Basically, what this is centered around is Tyler is trying to find Fandango. And Tyler Breeze is talking to the Ascension, and he says that he had a dream and the Ascension was in it, and they were eating pancakes and having maple syrup because they're in Canada. Also, the Ascension really came for the free pie. So they were just trying to make some jokes, and basically the whole thing was centered around Tyler trying to find Dango. So he's like, where is Dango? Where are you, Dango? And then there's like this picture on the board, like a board like this, kind of. And it's Fandango. And he's like, where are you, Dango? Where are you? And then you see Fandango kind of appear on the screen, which I thought was a cool effect. And he grabs a cup of coffee. He says, damn, that's a good cup of coffee. So every week they kind of do like kind of a spin-off of the show that they're trying to spin off of. Like they've done it before with other shows. Like, other shows they've tried to kind of mimic and take those catchphrases and, cool parts of the show and try and implement it into the fashion files, which I like. It's cool. It's a good idea. But this one wasn't my favorite. I mean, the whole thing with Arn Anderson I thought was funny when they were trying to find out, who was the guy that destroyed Tully the horse, because that was weeks ago and they're trying to pay that off now. And it was Arn Anderson, and it was the whole joke of, Arn Anderson was a part of the Four Horsemen, and he was really the horse of that group. I thought that was a good joke, and it was a good kind of cameo during the fashion files, so I enjoyed that part of it. But the rest of it kind of was just like, not the best stuff, but it was okay. Then they had Charlotte versus Lana, and basically, why should I care? Lana's going to lose this match, and that's indeed what happened. Charlotte beats Lana. Let's get back to the comment section. Harry says, you just said the Usos split up. I meant the New Day. Big E is better off as a singles guy, says Katana. Yes, I agree. Landon says, Daivari should return at SummerSlam and win the Universal title after the four-way. I couldn't agree more, Landon. That's a great idea. Anything with Daivari is a great idea. Harry Hook Chase says, CM Punk shirt. Yes, I'm wearing my CM Punk shirt. I haven't worn it in a long time. I kind of was going through my drawer, and I was like, what wrestling shirts? Because I have so many wrestling shirts. This is the thing, guys. When you go to 2 WrestleManias, that's basically all you do is buy wrestling merchandise. So I have a lot of wrestling shirts, and a lot of them, like I think the only people I have that are on the current roster that I actually have a shirt of are Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt, and Enzo and Cass. And the rest of them are like Rock, Austin, Macho Man, Hogan, Goldberg, WrestleMania shirts, and guys that aren't in the company. So, yeah. But I felt like it was a good time to bring out the CM Punk shirt. I don't know why, but I was feeling it today. Then we have the Shane McMahon, AJ Styles, and Kevin Owens bit. And basically here, the whole thing was, okay, Shane McMahon is going to set down the rules. He's going to talk it out. He's going to set it straight. And Shane McMahon's in the middle of the ring. He gets a lot of chants. Big pop for Shane O'Mac as usual, but this was a bigger one than usual, I would say. He introduced the participants, Kevin Owens and AJ Styles. Fairly, very, very split crowd. Kevin Owens, of course, is from Montreal, which is decently close to Toronto. And a lot of people in Canada are fans of Kevin Owens. So it was a pretty split crowd. Usually it's 75 or more like a 65-35 with AJ Styles being more of the favorite guy. But this was like 50-50 down the middle for Kevin Owens, AJ Styles. Owens apologizes to Shane for his actions last week. He's trying to, suck up to Shane and basically say, I was just acting poorly. I was screwed over last week and blah, 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 blah. He says, we have already had a McMahon screw another famous Canadian over the title. And what he's referring to is the Montreal screw job. I thought that was a really good kind of line there. Then the fans go with it. They say, you screwed Brett. You screwed Brett. You screwed Brett. They continue on, and Kevin Owens does a great job of playing off the crowd. So as soon as the crowd's chant dies, he goes, he deserved it. I thought that was really funny. Now, again, guys, I'm not a huge Kevin Owens fan, but on the mic, he can deliver at times, and I thought that was very good delivery. I think most people would think that. Then, again, he says, how can you be unbiased to someone who did that to you? So basically what they show is AJ Styles' beatdown before WrestleMania of Shane McMahon. If you can remember, he throws him into a limo, cuts his face up. It's really, really bad. And of course, they had that Mania feud. So Owens is asking, how could you be unbiased in this situation? And AJ says, you know what? Shane knows if he screws me, he will face the repercussions just like he did after WrestleMania. And AJ says, you know what, Shane, I don't trust anyone, let alone a McMahon. So a lot of McMahon shots going around. Shane says, I'm not like my sister. I'm not like my dad. I'm a different McMahon. Then they continue on, and Owens gets to highlights of Shane being a guest referee. And I was thinking through this entire segment, like, there has been moments in the past where Shane has been a guest referee. Like, this was what I was thinking in my head. I'm like, Shane has been a pretty biased referee in the past. I can remember matches, Rock and H feud back in the day. Mankind and Stone Cold at 98. There has been a lot of times where Shane has been a referee or a special referee. And actually, Shane McMahon was planning to be a referee before he got in the WWE as a wrestler or as a character. So that's kind of an interesting tidbit there. He actually always wanted to be a ref before he became a character. Then they showed those highlights of Survivor Series 98 of basically Shane screwing over Stone Cold. And then he says, I will not get involved unless someone makes me get involved, and then I will get involved. Then after Shane sets his statement, the two kind of go at it for a little bit. They're face to face. They're getting in each other's faces. And AJ says, why don't we get rid of Shane right now? And I want to win the U.S. title. Let's do the U.S. title match right now. So basically what happens is AJ and Kevin Owens, okay, are they going to do this U.S. title match right now? And it's another tease. Kevin Owens, of course, backs out and he says, I want to win the U.S. title in an actual cool city, like a city that matters in the United States. And then the Toronto fans boo him. I thought Kevin Owens had some good dialogue, some good lines where he got some heel heat from the crowd. Then they go at it. They start brawling. Then there's a Pele kick from AJ Styles. He hits Shane in the face. Then, basically you screwed Shane crowd chants from everyone in Toronto, and KO goes up the ramp and he laughs and he bows and he basically got the upper hand on AJ Styles this week. So I thought this was overall the best segment on the show. In terms of building a storyline, I thought this did a really good job. I liked Kevin Owens, dialogue. I liked kind of planting the seeds of, okay, is Shane going to side with Owens? Is Shane going to side with AJ Styles? I liked bringing up the past of Shane McMahon as a referee. I like bringing up the past of him and AJ Styles. I think the story is starting to make a lot of sense here. And also, I think just, from this, I think Shane is going to side with AJ Styles. He's going to screw Kevin Owens, and they're going to have the feud. That's my guess. But I really like this segment. I thought it was the best one on the show. It was entertaining. I thought it did stuff for the storyline, and that's really all you can ask for. And it kind of got all the people over in the regard. So I like this segment, and this was probably the best one on the show. Next, you have Lana and Tamina backstage, and this was very confusing. So Lana lost her match earlier tonight against Charlotte, and Tamina says, you lost, but were you at least more ravishing than me? Tamina then says, you will never wrestle like me. I will always be a better wrestler. And I'm thinking, like, Tamina, you've never done anything as a wrestler. Like, why would you say that in all realism? Like, Lana sure sucks in the ring because she loses every match in fake wrestling terms, right? But Tamina has never won a championship, and she's been in the company forever, and I believe she's like close to 40 years old. I don't understand this. Then what happens is Tamina says, on kind of the most interesting line of the entire thing, it wasn't your wrestling ability, but your ambition that got you 3 straight title shots. And now you're going to help me get mine. So I'm kind of confused here. What's happening? Is Lana going to be a manager for Tamina? Are they going to be a tag team? What are they trying to do with this? Like, can anyone answer this question for me? My best guess is that they're going to have Lana be the manager of Tamina. But, like, I don't get it. It's just kind of lame to me. And I've never been a fan of Tamina. I love Lana. But, Lana's lost every match. I don't understand why you make someone go from the most popular female manager, one of the best managers in the company, one of the best managers you've had in the past 15 years, and you have them be a wrestler, and you do all these vignettes, and you try to build this character up, and then you have them lose and buried and buried and buried. Why? It makes no sense. None. Zero. Zilch. Nada. No sense. Lana should be over. Hell, she should be champion. If you're going to take an asset as a manager and turn them into a wrestler, and then you proceed to do nothing, that is a failure, a complete and utter failure. Next, they have Carmella versus Naomi. I basically said, again, why is this happening? Carmella pins Naomi with help from the returning Ellsworth. So the crowd popped for seeing Ellsworth. And basically all this match did was reintroduce that Ellsworth was back on SmackDown and that he's back helping Carmella win. That's basically all it did. I didn't really pay too much attention to the match. Couldn't tell you if it was good or bad, but at least, you know, I don't understand the whole thing with champions losing week after week after week. We saw it twice on the show. Champions lose and lose and lose and lose. But that's the way SmackDown books, and I don't understand it. I never probably will understand it, but it is what it is. At least it was a screwy finish, and I'm a huge fan of Carmella, so I'm happy that they are doing stuff with Carmella, and she's definitely the best woman on this roster, in my opinion. Then we have Carmella backstage with Ellsworth and Natalya. Natalya sucks. Holy fuck, this was terrible. My ears were like bleeding. And then you have Ellsworth, who was awful in his own right in this segment. Please just let Carmella talk. Like, Carmella is a good talker. She's great. But Ellsworth can be good at times. I've said it. Natalya has never been over to me on the mic. She is god-awful. I cannot stand her on the mic. She's a terrible actress. Please just stop. So basically what happens is Natalya says, keep your nose out of my business at SummerSlam. Ellsworth says that the whole women's division is now shaking in their heels because I'm back and I'm helping Carmella. And this is what it was doing. It was teasing that Carmella can cash in the Money in the Bank. And really, this segment made no sense in logical terms because who is Natalya to stop Carmella to do anything? She has the Money in the Bank. She could cash it in whenever she wants. And to be honest with you, Carmella probably should have cashed in the Money in the Bank as soon as she beat Naomi. She just beat Naomi. She should do it again. Or she should have cashed in as soon as Ellsworth helped her out. Boom. Cash in. Boom. I'm the champion. But no, I'm trying to be logical here, but I guess it doesn't work in these terms. Let's get back to the comment section. Lots of comments. Thank you guys for commenting. Thank you guys for being here live. WWE Boy says, there are some people talking about CM Punk rumored to return because of the Hulu ad. What are you talking about? He is not returning in capitals. What Hulu ad? I've never heard of that, but I have seen like videos and like dirt sheets talk about CM Punk returning, and they have no logical and actual real evidence of him returning. I hope he returns someday, but I don't think it will be anytime soon. And I probably don't think he ever will return. That doesn't mean that I don't want him to return, because I do. Katana says you need to switch to the Rock shirt. I love the Rock shirt. I have two. Harry says, I got Undertaker, John Cena, Evan Bourne, and more John Cena. Really? You have Evan Bourne? Landon says, Cass versus Hogan in a Buried Alive match. I think I'd put Hogan over in that sense. Harry says, Harry Hook Chase says, Kevin Owens won't be screwed, maybe? He hit the ref, so the ref could not see. Or maybe you're saying what? I don't understand what you're saying, bro. Christopher says, it may or may not happen. Would you like to see Baron Corbin beat Cena and later in the night cash in and become WWE champion? It very well could happen, because you could continue the Baron Corbin Nakamura feud. It would make a lot of sense. Or they could wait even longer. But I think that would be a good idea, because you're cashing in on the fact that Baron Corbin has never been hotter because he just beat John Cena. So, and he probably never would be any hotter than that. So that's probably the best time to put the title on him. So I agree. That would be a good idea. Christopher says him losing to Randy and winning the belt instead of Rollins at WrestleMania 31. Yeah, I agree. I don't understand that WrestleMania 31 one. That was a great, phenomenal match. I think the only reason they did that is so that Randy and Rollins would be the next feud, from what I remember. WWE Boys said, something I do not like about today's WWE crowds is such as this one is all the smarks with the 10 chants counting to where it makes no sense. Yeah, I hate the 10 chant. The 10 chant annoys me. I thought Toronto's crowd was decent tonight. They were a little bit more markish than the Raw crowd, but I did enjoy them, minus some of those, those 10 chants. But you just got to deal with it because it's a regular thing nowadays. Landon says, McMahon fatal 5-way in the main event of Mania for control of WWE. Why not? Let's have Linda go over. WWE Boy says, also, when the ref does a count out, like, seriously, shut the F up with the 10 chants. WWE Boy is on a rant right now. Katana says, I'm just not interested in seeing Styles and Owens wrestle again. Me neither. But at least Shane will mix it up and kind of, make it a little bit more interesting. Katana says, again, Lana needs to be paired up with Rusev. I agree. I've been saying that for a while. Landon says, what's your opinion when the Grizzlies moved from Vancouver to Memphis? I think I was too young to even really care. So I wish Vancouver had an NBA team, but they don't. So, and throughout my life, I haven't really been able to, I never went to a game. So I never had that emotional connection to the Vancouver Grizzlies because I'm a Lakers fan because we never had a Vancouver team when I was really into basketball. I didn't start getting into basketball until I was like 10. So Katana says, why didn't Carmella cash in after pinning Naomi? That's exactly what I said. WWE Boy says, James Ellsworth should have returned at SummerSlam. Makes more sense to me. And it would have been more shocking. Yeah, unless they do something in the storyline, I agree that would have been a good time as well. Sid Henry, maybe that would be too much, though, because they're trying to cash in at SummerSlam as well. Sid Henry says Ellsworth botched with Naomi on the top rope. I didn't really notice because I didn't really watch the match. Corbin's new entrance, question mark. I like Corbin's new entrance. I don't love it. I said I love the beginning of it, but I don't love the end of it. I think it's just kind of, it's not memorable in any way to me. I love the beginning, like the evil sounds at the beginning and then he comes out. But after that, I'm kind of like, it sounds like everyone else's theme. But it's okay. It's okay. It's better than his one before. Then we have Shinsuke Nakamura doing an interview earlier today. And I thought this was a really good segment as well. So they had two good segments that I enjoyed on the show. The Styles, Shane, and Owens one, and the Shinsuke Nakamura interview. I thought this was a good interview. Nakamura says that Cena has been the measuring stick in WWE, and John Cena is that guy. But I beat him. And he talks about how he's always wanted to be against the best competition in WWE. And at SummerSlam, it's his destiny to win the world championship. The Nakamura dynasty begins at SummerSlam. I think this is the best promo that Nakamura has cut since being on the main roster at the very least. That's not saying much because he hasn't done many of them, but this was probably the best promo he's done that I've seen maybe in his entire WWE career. Because I watched a lot of his NXT career and I thought that he was really rough in that area. Yes, his accent is harsh. Yes, his actual English is not very good, but I thought it was decent in this interview, and I actually liked it. And I thought that they in a way, I liked Nakamura a little bit more after watching this interview. So it did its job. Then in the main event, they have Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton for God knows who, what knows reason, but the crowd's cheering for mostly Jinder, a little bit of Randy, but mostly Jinder. I love how intense Jinder is. I think that's his best quality is his intensity, which is very rare in today's wrestlers. But I think he has that quality. And this was a good match. I thought this was a good match all the way through. Randy Orton, I think he carried the match. I think he called all the shots, but it was a really good match from both guys. Randy Orton carried a lot of the offense and eventually won. Now, I don't understand why Jinder Mahal lost this match. I think that's a terrible decision. You never have your WWE champion lose ever on a free show for a non-title. It makes no sense. I don't get it. Okay, because what you're trying to do here is you're trying to make your champion, even if you're going to make him lose the title at SummerSlam, you're trying to make him look as strong as possible going into the pay-per-view, because then your champion, whoever it may be, whether you're keeping it on Mahal or you're giving it to Nakamura, which is what it seems like, you're making the winner of that title appear stronger than they, are, or they're making them stronger. If Mahal would have finally beat Orton by himself, it would have close that book that Mahal is the man. He is the WWE champion, but instead, Randy Orton won. I know that Randy Orton's kind of been taking some L's lately, but Randy Orton's how many time champion? Like, it's not going to hurt his stock if he loses straight up to Jinder. Jinder needed this win. He needed it to go into SummerSlam. I don't understand why you went the opposite direction, because in this, you're actually hurting Nakamura more than you're hurting anyone else. Because now we'll say, hey, Randy beat Jinder Mahal in the one match where it was straight up with no help. So really, it's Nakamura and Orton, not Nakamura and Mahal. Mahal isn't the real champ. So that's how I feel about that. I think it's stupid. Christopher Simmons says, if Hogan comes back, would Cena and Hogan at WrestleMania tag team against, I don't know, whoever, if WWE does? I don't think Hogan's ever going to wrestle. He's just too old. If he did, I think it would be good to see Hogan and Cena in a tag team. But I don't think he ever will. WWE Boy says, I felt like Corbin's new theme is missing something. And missing the it factor, WWE. Katana says, I could actually understand what Nakamura was saying. It was pre-taped, though. I think it's better to pre-tape his because it allows him to get a better promo. Like, he can redo it. It's not live. He can take his time with it, and you can allow him to be at his best. Why make him do it live when he would be better taped? And vice versa. If a guy is live without the script, why make a guy that's better without a script have a script? And why make a guy have no script with a script? But I understand that everybody has a script today. Katana says he said biting Cena instead of beating Cena. Maybe he did. I don't know. Landon said Stone Cold versus The Rock at WrestleMania for the 4th time. Oh, boy, I would be in for that. I would be down. I would fly to New Orleans today to see that match. Christopher Simmons says, I wish Test was still alive. He was a great performer. That's random. But I do really like his theme. Test. This is a test. 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 This is a test. Good theme. Good theme. Yeah, Test was a good performer. I think he's a better version of Cass. Katana says, Breakfast Club rules. That's why Randy won. Landon says, Daivari versus Hassan at Mania. That would be the main event for sure. WWE Boy says they should have had Shinsuke wrestle someone and Jinder on commentary. Yeah, they could do that. They could do that next week. Okay, so that's SmackDown Live for August the 8th, 2017. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. Solo review today from Mitch, me of the Bottom Line View. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did and you're new, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more Raw and SmackDown and pay-per-view reviews and wrestling topics. We're trying to get around to doing more wrestling videos. There's a lot of NFL stuff, and if you're a fan of the NFL, get on those NFL videos and watch them. WWE GM mode is going to be hot and fire for the next 2 weeks, so we can get that done. Thank you guys for supporting the GM mode. Thank you guys for supporting the reviews. If you enjoyed, again, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Lots of wrestling, sports content. I'm going to do a SummerSlam preview because it's a big pay-per-view. So I'll have that out probably a few days before SummerSlam. What else? Lots of NFL. I have a couple rants or discussions planned for WWE that I think I need to get off my chest. And all that and more. Make sure you like the video. And thanks, guys, for watching. It's Mitch of the Bottom Line View. Have a nice night. Peace out.